It's sincerely crazy to me that a whole lot of human beings think that Bitcoin goes to remain the primary crypto task all the time. This to me simply makes certainly no feel, particularly with how close we're to rules and the way close we are to application being the main driving force at the back of all of this. And we've got to speak about this. We're going to be addressing it. And additionally, we've got a variety of facts to move over on this video, in particular if you do maintain XRP. So certainly stick around until the stop. And with that being said, welcome to the channel, all of us. My call is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by using the quid of this video, you do come to be a subscriber. Let's dive on in, and permits in reality speak approximately. You realize the entire Bitcoin idea you understand with Bitcoin closing the number one. So as we have a look at Bitcoin nowadays, it has a marketplace cap of $1.85 trillion. Now, a lot of human beings are very bullish on Bitcoin. They assume that Bitcoin goes to 1 million bucks. They're going, it is going here, going there. One issue that I had been always critical approximately in terms of Bitcoin is the era at the back of it. Okay, when I'm thinking about Destiny era, I'm not considering era that takes mins to settle. It's very gradual, it's very inconsistent. I'm thinking about a challenge or technology, that is extremely green to the factor wherein I can pass tens of millions of dollars for a very low fee and nearly in a near immediately time frame. And if we're considering that XRP has basically been created for this very motive, we realize that from Arrington Capital, they examined sending $50 million using XRP and that they paid a fraction of what you will pay. On basically only a small little transaction. With Speak Me approximately, you understand cents to greenbacks. I mean, XRP is one of the maximum efficient cryptocurrencies out there, and DLTs on this area for sending, receiving, or just making any transaction. Now, present day market cap of XRP is $82.9 billion. I, in my opinion, believe that XRP is going to flip Bitcoin sooner or later in time. Is it going to take place this cycle? Probably no longer. But I do think that XRP is going to be an absolute large, especially in a regulated software push marketplace wherein the fees are not decided by, you understand, Michael Saylor taking place, state television pronouncing that, you understand Bitcoin goes to visit $1 million. Like the whole hype and hypothesis section of this marketplace is coming to a close. And when the curtain opens back up, the simplest issue so that it will determine cost is how adopted and how utilized the networks really are. And the factor that determines that is how efficient they are. Now, I want to talk approximately this extra in depth because as we examine what's taking place even proper now, the large element to awareness on is real international asset tokenization. This is securitized. Securitized has been virtually killing the game. They were working with institutions and some of the largest players obtainable to carry the sector on a chain via tokenization. We could absolutely see some of that. Players that are already using them for tokenization tasks. You have BlackRock right here, Hamilton Lane, KKR as well. And there is a few more, right? If we sincerely visit the view more, you can see a number of the opposite players which might be on here. There's quite a bit of tokenized finances already tapped in on a few very massive networks out there, but I convey up securities due to you already know how followed they may be. We realized that back in March, as an instance, that is when BlackRock launched the first tokenized fund. And this changed into on the Ethereum community through securities. Now, for the duration of this time, a whole lot of humans were pronouncing like, oh, that is it. Ethereum goes to be, you already know, the largest component ever, blah something. You realize, as we look at this, right, the institutions to large players like BlackRock, they may be dipping their feet in proper now. A lot of this is simply around like tens of millions of bucks, doubtless even billions. But we aren't seeing the real cash simply yet, but also. Back in May, Securitize introduced a $47 million strategic investment round led through BlackRock. And this become with some other gamers as properly. But you recognize, for the maximum part, you already know BlackRock. This proved that BlackRock turned into right here, and they're going basically all in at tech, and it's for accurate measure, which we'll talk approximately why in a second. But even greater so, if we visit the Securitize story, we have main the tokenization of actual international assets. And they do say here that again in 2017, they expected the use of blockchain era to carry automation and liquidity capability to alternative asset instructions. Recognizing that the era didn't exist, they built Securitize. And we could clearly see the entire timeline here. Mainly, you understand, in 2024, for an instance, they have been increasing swiftly. They have been turning into a very huge player in the tokenization of basically the whole thing around us. But they have a few very large universal board of administrators from BlackRock, for instance. There's a few different corporations on right here as well, but take a look at their advisory board. Look at how stacked this advisory board is. Twitter, Google, Barclays, the SEC, JP Morgan. Even down right here, we also see, you already know, the more recent commodities alternate, the World Economic Forum. Delicious is going on, I imply it's in reality type of wild, and also with the aid of the manner, James Wallace, VP of Central Bank Engagements at Ripple. Interesting. And if we genuinely examine their buyers, very large list. And of course, we have Ripple here with SBI Holdings as an instance. So you recognize manifestly Ripple has a completely small piece of, you understand, exposure to securitize. But also, if we go over right here, this turned into 15 hours ago, Standard Chartered Zodiac's custody deal with securitized BlackRock's tokenization partner. Okay, so now Zodiac Custody is inking up with Security. And we even have here that our partnership with Zodiac Custody extends secure and compliant custody solutions to institutional buyers, allowing them to get entry to tokenized belongings like BlackRock's Biddle. We also have together we're bringing or bridging traditional finance and virtual property, proving infrastructure that establishments want to confidently have interaction in this transformative marketplace. Now, they do point out down right here, you recognize the tokenization marketplace and cryptocurrency, and how big those markets are going to basically be. Overall, is this going to cause exposure to XRP? Well, permits speak about that. Here we've Ripple beginning to comply with Securitize. Securitize is a leading platform for expanding investor get right of entry to extraordinary private market alternative property, from private equity to personal credit score and more. But additionally, if we pass over right here, recently Securities become at Ripple swell return within the center of October. And this become titled The Strength of Tokenization Within the Virtual Technology. Now, they have been also on degree with Northern Trust and Archix. And in case you men do recognize, Archix become additionally lately, you realize pronouncing that they collaborated with Ripple to release the primary tokenized cash marketplace fund at the XRP ledger. And if we pass again to the summer, they introduced that they have been bringing tens of millions to the XRP ledger as properly, but I need to return lower back to this due to the fact, additionally, James Wallace become on degree with them. And like I showed you men back over here, here we come down right here, James Wallace, he's below the board of directors, or their advisory board, sorry, Securitize. Now, constructing upon this, we do have a video clip from Ripple Swell. And that is Carlos Domingo, CEO and co-founding father of Securitize. And he highlights how tokenized treasuries are reshaping finance. Securitize is bringing the sector on chain, registering possession rights on blockchain to release real global belongings for institutions and traders. What the tokenized future is now. So I commenced the agency in past June 2017. That turned into like form of the first wave of excitement about tokenization. Crypto changed into very small after I began the organization. It become like a 20 billion industry. Now it is a 2 trillion industry. Blockchain started out, I simply felt like this need to be the equal generation layer, have to be applied to everyday instruments to make them easier to transact, less complicated to alternate, and easier to buy. This is going return to December 4th of 2023. A lot of human beings neglected this. This goes all the way lower back at 12 months in the past. Standard Chartered-backed Zodiac Custody joins Ripple-owned Medico's worldwide crypto storage community. Now, once more, Zodiac Custody simply inked up a deal with Security. Okay. And then of root, while we think about what Medeco has become, it is Ripple Custody, get admission to the complete virtual asset atmosphere these days. And also for those that truly don't know, this, anything around tokenization involves the XRP ledger with regards to Ripple Custody. We've damaged this down commonly earlier then, but recollect that Ripple literally funded Security